The needs were creating the dreams. Words are more dangerous than weapons. Even tomorrow, if you will make me sit in front of Honorable Prime Minister, I will not hesitate to talk. If you have not asked a question or if you are not attempting for something, you will regret it always. काश पूछ लिया होता तो अच्छा होता.
There was a famous line, पूछ डाला तो life chingala.
Yes.
People will call you crazy for that. Each government will have its own positives and negatives. That's what is your understanding with the current government or their initiatives. What are the positive sides?
They have opened up market and they have given freedom to anybody who can innovate.
Right.
If you have an innovation, please come to us. We will support you. We never thought that chips will be made in India. The Viksit Bharat Mission 2047 mission, where we want to be a developed nation. Certain milestones has been set in the terms of health, water, education, manufacturing, all verticals, and they have received certain targets to achieve them. Our elders used to say that don't give commitments when you are so happy and don't say anything when you are angry. Growth and comfort can't go together. Some sacrifice will happen on some side. Government is aiming for a single window clearances, but for government themselves, there is no single window. It's for citizens that we should not go here and there and we should get all our solution on our app.
But what kind of team you would hire? Without these traits, I would not hire them.
I don't want somebody who will wait for the instructions and then he will start a work. The real leaders, they are the most calm people. They listen more and talk less.
If you want to be in business, you have to be able to or have the ability to forecast or ability to see the future.
Why data is a new fuel? If you have a data, at least you can predict, you can plan, you can deliver.
And that is India's strength with population.
We have data. So in public sector or a government, there is a myth that government don't work, things don't move. But let me highlight this, that the most transformative projects that runs in the country is even faster than what private sector is even dreaming about.
Oh, you've written a wonderful book. What kind of guidance would you like to give for someone who's aspiring to write a book? So when the government comes up with freebies, what is the actual impact on public life? Is there any?
Whether the freebies are actually impacting the life or it is just helping the political parties to gain the votes. In such scenario, disaster is by default expected. You are using the public money. In India, we have certain states who have actually diverted the GST funds also.
What does it truly mean to serve according to you?
Serving is a link between pressure and purpose. In terms of crisis, the basic principle that differs an ordinary administrator to the true leader says title don't matters, temperament matter. How much government spends on one IAS or IPS officer per month? It is around 7 to 8 lakh rupees a month. Don't create trouble for them. At least give them the due respect. That will actually decide the India's future.
I am Mahesh Karkera and I'm thrilled to have with us an extraordinary guest, Mr. Praveen Rao. With a career spanning over more than a decade in technology and business strategy, Praveen has consistently combined deep technical expertise with visionary leadership. His track record speaks to a passion for building sustainable growth, empowering teams, and navigating change with precision. Today we'll discuss how Rao thinks about navigating disruption, the human side of leadership in tech-driven environments, and the strategic decisions that have shaped his journey. So whether you're a founder, an executive, a government employed, a technologist, or simply curious about what it takes to thrive in today's fast-paced world, you are in for a great conversation. So Praveen, tell us about your childhood. Exactly how did it shape you in the person that you are today?
So as I while discussing with you before the podcast, so my family or my father was in railways, and I was always surrounded by the people who work in government or the railway officers. So railway as an entity have a bigger impact on me. So as a kid, as a child, I have seen station, railway premises, all these very closely, engines coming, bogies getting connected and all. Whenever my father used to go on shifts or for his duty, like sometimes odd hours, sometimes even hours, so he used to dress well with a white shirt, a white pant and a black shoes. So I remember that you know, those black shoes or that attire, what was his uniform. Because in the earlier days I never got a chance to visit his office, but later when he took me, that's a different impact. But as an early image, that attire itself, I used to compare that with some thing from TV also, that okay, this man is going for a war, or this man is going to perform something, or he is something, a heroic character. The today's generation, where people have access to a lot of information, and they have that liberty to choose role models, or even the parents are well educated, well connected. So not in terms of only education, well connected with the world. So we never had that luxury of choosing role models. The needs were creating the dreams. Like a typical guy who thinks that okay, if I will study well, I will score good marks, and if I will score good marks, then I will get a good job.
Right.
So this was the pattern I was following. The systems who were working around me, the railways, the government officers, the people like my father, who were dressed well.
Right.
He used to carry a walkie talkie, used to talk on phone. I have always thought, okay, these are the people with whom I can inspire, or one day I should be like them.
Right, right. And what are a few turning points of your life which defined you, which made you think that, bringing such characters, such government employees who serve us day on day, who do not worry about whether it is day, night, or what's the time, they have to be present as and when the need occurs. So, what was that turning point which made you write this book?
So again, I'm connecting. I'm just picking up a memory which was never faded, and that was one of the spark while even thinking about this book. We used to stay at a railway quarters where we were on the first floor, and from our window, I used to see a railway gangman. They are known as gangmen who, they inspect the railway tracks, and they check whether all the couplings are at the place, if there is any fish plate missing, or is there any error which they might
Yes.
notice.
I have seen them while traveling by train.
Yeah. Well, from your train, your bogie window also, you will see that somebody is holding a big hammer on their
Yes,
shoulder,
yes.
and they walk for kilometers to kilometers. Like, so they have certain kilometers assigned to them, and they have to inspect that track in whatever the time has been allocated. So I have seen these characters, these people, in the scorching heat, in maybe winter, in rainy season. Every time they walk on the track, and they hit that if any coupling is missing, or if you are seeing any disconnection in the track, they have to repair it on the spot, or they have to alert the management if it is not repairable. So that was our job, which I always felt that very tough. You have to walk, and you don't have a clean path to walk. You are walking on small stones and those small rocks.
And I'm sure the train tracks are also where the sewage of these trains which are intercity, the sewage and all those are on the
so
track
there
as
is
well.
no road, there is no track to walk. You have to walk whatever is
Available.
And end of the day, you have to ensure that all the couplings, all the fish plates, whatever the protocols they have been assigned, you have to finish all them.
Right.
And
right.
that guy has to do.
What are the biggest failures that probably you would like to share, and what did you learn out of them? Because dealing with such bureaucrats, one small thing can become a big one.
See, in terms of either professional career or personal life, what I believe that words are more dangerous than weapons. Okay, so for any human being, despite his work or anything, he has to control his words while working, while talking, while whatever the job or the ecosystem he or she is into. So if you are not having a control on your words, you will not be able to communicate the correct thing to the person who is listening to you, or sometimes the message you actually want to transmit, that actually it will not achieve the objective.
Right.
So yes, in my case, I have noticed this, that I have done such mistakes, and later when I admitted it, and then I realized that if you don't control your words, the message goes on without the right intention, and it affects your productivity also. And because of this unclear communication, there is something else which will be delivered, and that is
I'm
harmful.
sure that is your next book's thought
Well,
as
yes,
well.
well, yes, you have rightly guessed. So maybe very soon I will announce it, but
Yes.
yes, I'm working on that direction.
Why anyone purchases a book is to learn from someone's experience. So if you've learned something via your experience, and if you're sharing that, I believe that that book will have a greater chance of success.
Definitely, because in the recent times also, or from the day I'm into this communication world, the barrier which I have realized is if you are not able to convince something which is inside your heart or inside your brain to the other person, then that communication fails. And it is not about the skill set, it is something that whether your content or your thought is actually reaching to the destination. It is simple. If you are not able to communicate anything when you are talking to somebody on a mobile, and if the other person is not able to listen, what he will do, he will disconnect the call and he will call again. And normally we both say sorry to each other, oh, the call got disconnected. Just apply the similar principle here, that if the right content is not reaching to the person, he will get confused or he will understand something else, which may later get into some disaster or some
Yes,
trouble.
absolutely.
So I personally,
And even though we
believe
might
this.
have best of the intentions, but if the words chosen were wrong, it's going to backfire.
It backfires also. It changes the meaning also.
Yes.
Maybe you are seeing from your side it is 6, but that person is understanding it's 9.
9.
So end of the day, your intention was clear, but the thing which got delivered is not something means to.
So my mentor used to tell me, don't just think that you've delivered the message, that means the work is done. You have to understand how they have understood as well.
Yes, definitely.
Even that is your duty. So you don't leave communication to chance, but you understand, have they also understood the same way what you have said it? So ask them, what did you understand? Please tell me once again. So we used to do these sort of exercises. So if someone really wants to become or reach your caliber or reach your levels, one of the key things they need to focus on is communication. Especially when you're going and talking to bureaucrats, you have to be onto the point and something that delivers value to them.
Yes.
Right? Have you ever taken decisions that people called you crazy for that?
See, couple of years back when my
you can have multiple answers to
no,
this.
I will give you a very straightforward answer
Because I'm sure it is not just one.
Yeah, it happens. But one thing which I have a memory in my brain, and that has actually clicked me, is when I was about to finish my schooling and was in a year or so I was about to enter in my graduation. So me and my mother, we took our father to a hospital in Chennai for his he got some trouble in heart, and we admitted him there. So we were in the northern part of country. Chennai is a southern part of country where the language was Tamil, because there were a lot of doctors who were not having fluency in Hindi. We were facing a lot of challenges while explaining to them or to taking instructions for them. So they all were talking in English. So I noticed one thing, that I was not able to, take certain calls or decisions or something when doctors used to interact. And I noticed that that was a big flaw in me. So one thing where I learned from them is, let's not hesitate. Even tomorrow, if you will make me sit in front of Honorable Prime Minister, I will not hesitate to talk.
Right.
Because that is something given me that power, that if you have not asked a question or if you are not attempting for something, you will regret it always.
Right.
Rather than regretting, please, without any hesitation, just go and ask or try to find out, is there any way or is there any path which you can choose, so that later you will not regret it. Or in right way, in explaining in Hindi, काश पूछ लिया होता तो अच्छा होता.
There was a famous line, पूछ डाला तो life चिंगाला.
Yes. So
Dish TV, I think.
Yes. So what I understood that the more and more you will hesitate, then more and more trouble you are creating for yourself. I started understanding from that incident that that hesitation, हम अंदर नहीं गए रूम के, वो बुरा मान जाएंगे. These all are our self-obsessed thoughts which are coming in back of our brain. I remember an incident at Vijayawada airport when one of the union minister was traveling, and the crowd was completely busy in taking the photos and all. And I remember that my manager or somebody was asking me for an appointment. I could not secure through the proper channels. Luckily, when he was coming out of the washroom, I was in my casual attire. I just went and said that we were in the same flight. Now you are leaving the premises. I just want to communicate this, that I'm trying to meet you from last 2 months through proper channels. Is it any way, because we are this is the time I was expecting. He immediately called his officer on special duty and asked, this gentleman is trying to reach me from last 2 months. Why are we not giving him an appointment, or what is stopping them? I took this risk that at least he will say no. But when you have to take a risk and when you are ready to listen no, then there should not be any trouble while doing such experiments. I have seen people calling me crazy that you just randomly walks into somebody's door and ask, can we meet for 2 minutes? And I trust me, I have received some fabulous results where people were very happy that at least इसने आके पूछ लिया और clarity हो गई.
Yes.
And you should be ready for no also.
Right.
At least we are at a binary stage that we are either it's a no or yes. You will not hang in between like a
and
pendulum.
We will not regret कि
we will not regret.
बात नहीं किया,
पूछा नहीं, ये नहीं हुआ.
Right.
So I personally believe this, and this is really helping me a lot.
What was the hardest trade-off that you had to make to reach at the levels that you are today?
In the rush of delivering, in the rush of traveling, in the rush of addressing the concerns, I took a hit on my health. Right. And what I thought that somehow I will manage, but trust me, now I have corrected this recently, and
we've had that discussion.
Yes,
and I am trusting you on that.
I will be back to the market with a far better version of me.
Yes.
Because nothing is beyond health. But just to answer your question, that I personally believe we should be we always should be taking our health seriously, because sometimes the work balance and all this, we take a toss on this, but which
because
I have
there
taken.
is no immediate effect.
Yes.
We don't see कि अरे आज health का आज gym नहीं गए तो आज ही बीमार पड़ गए. ऐसे it doesn't happen that way.
It doesn't happen, but when the karma hits you back, you will realize
it collects and comes to
it collects and comes, and in that situation you will not be able to manage the things.
Yes.
Which I have noticed. But on the other side, जो होना था वो हो गया. Now I am pushing my strength, my inner strength to all the levels to regain what I lost.
What are your key strategies or mindset which has helped you build connection with these bureaucrats or let's say government employees at high levels? They are very tough nut to crack.
See, in the case of government, you will see a challenge that they are always busy. And why they are busy? Because they have to address a bigger aroma of the crowd. We are a highly populated country. Still, I don't see government or the decision makers of the country are serious about it. So the government servants or the public sector people are completely loaded. And in such scenario, when they are really loaded, they have to address multiple challenges, multiple citizen complaints, lot of things. So end of the day, they are always sitting on fire. In such scenario, the only thing or the only key strategy when you have also to jump in the same, people where everybody is behind them. So the only thing which I believe that can help is patience with purpose. So you have to be really very patient, because if you will try to prove that your work is the only work or your work is the most important work, so there are 10 different people waiting who have the criticality more than you. So in such scenarios, you can't rush with the relationship. You can't make everything run like, okay, you get this job done. It
Aaj
can
hi
be
chahiye.
aaj hi chahiye. You have to, and if you are such a character where you are always waking up at the last moment, then it's your problem, not their problem. हमें आज आधार में ये changes चाहिए. And why we realize this? Because something came in our mind, some urgency came up. If you really need good results, you have to help, you have to plan these things with patience, with good relation and consistency. You need a perfection, you need your job done, give some time.
And what is this fascination with continuous learning? If I, like, what I've understood, like, I am Calcutta, ISB, Yale, EPFL, and now you're thinking of doing a PhD as well.
So Mahesh, there is no such any fascination. The thing is, I was never good in studies, never ever good in studies. My parents were always worried about this, that okay, whether you will study or not. And I used to, always get humiliated whenever during my childhood when my parents used to come to school. But the thing is, on the other side, I used to take this guilt every time that someday something will happen and at least I will rub this, क्या कहते हैं, ये दाग धोऊंगा. So
अच्छा, okay.
हाँ, ये दाग मुझे धोने हैं. I will clean it up someday.
That's your intrinsic motivation.
Yes. So jokes apart, the thing is, it was a grudge inside me or a guilt inside me that kabhi to, I should be seeing myself in that particular domain despite having a good professional career.
Right.
But this is an area, a gray area, which I thought to clean it off. And now I have reached to the stage where I have washed it out.
Right.
And maybe this last program of PhD, I'm just waiting for some clearances. If this happens, then this will bring an end to this educational domain.
Lovely. And I must bring into attention that your mom is one big support for you. Like when I came in for your book launch also, I mean, I think for both your book launches so far, she was there, is what I understand.
So it is again coming back, that guilt which I carry is that I want to show that those days you used to scold me a lot. But ab dekho, now I'm out from it. So it is a combination of both the emotions that which I was carrying during childhood and which I'm carrying at this age. So I wished that she should see both the scenarios. She has seen in past. Now she has to see the future.
I'm sure she must be proud of you for that.
Yes, she is. She is. She is very happy.
And like we've seen the emergence of UPI in India, technology is changing the way governance and government is now, taking a lot of decisions or creating new policies. Each government will have its own positives and negatives. That's based on how they deal. What I wanted to understand was, what is your understanding with the current government or their initiatives? What are the positive sides of that?
See, the positive sides, so let's take this question in this way, positive and negative both, or you can say positive and neutral both.
Or area of improvement.
So on the positive side, I have seen they have opened up market and they have given freedom to anybody who can innovate.
Right.
If you have an innovation, please come to us, we will support you. We never thought that chips will be made in India. We have seen chips,
no, I
the
think
mobile chips.
Gujarat and Hyderabad, they are leading this.
Yes. So there are a lot of companies who have collaborated with Indian companies, and there are organizations like Tata and other players who are into chip making now. The competition itself has got reduced because now the local companies, the manufacturers are gearing up for this.
Yes.
So that's the positive side. Second, which I feel the area of improvement or something, we are a highly populated country. We have a lot of challenges. We have a big crowd to address. That's why Sushasan or good governance is something that everybody is aiming. The Viksit Bharat mission 47 mission, where we want to be a developed nation. So for a developed nation means there are certain milestones has been set in the terms of health, water, education, manufacturing, all verticals, and they have received certain targets to achieve them. So what I think that we have to do something quickly on the population side, because if we are not addressing this at this stage, it will trouble our future generations.
Absolutely.
And see how much groundwork government will have to do after 25 years.
And to that, people should also support.
Yes.
Depending only on the government is not going to
Yes.
be
You need bijli,
helping.
you need khana, you need makan, you need
Yes.
everything, and you are still not thinking about controlling the population. So I personally believe that if you don't have resources, the future generations will not be happy. They will come up with their own challenges, and you are not ready for that. So
I think
I personally
population is
believe
something which is one area.
one area that government has to quickly address.
Right, right, right. Do you have any mental model to take decisions? Let's say you're sitting in a meeting and there is someone who is just giving you a new deal to be cracked with, but with some asterisks to be done and X, Y, and Z. So these are decisions to be made in the spur of the moment, like in seconds that you have to take those decisions. Do you have any mental model to take such decisions?
See, we work in certain environments where sometimes something lands at the last minute,
Yes.
or sometimes you have to address in that scenario. What I work in such scenario, whether we have people available to work. Second, I always prioritize that how much this work is urgent, or whether we really have a playground to play. And at the last, if we can perform, do we really have a execution capability, whether we can deliver at the right time with the expectations. If all these pointers are connected, then definitely my answer is yes. But sometimes in such scenarios, we don't get a chance to build ourselves in such a polished way. But still, in those fraction nano picoseconds also, I ensure if even one pillar is missing, I always prefer to say no, rather than giving a commitment and when you are not able to deliver. I personally believe that saying a no is more easier rather than creating a story around it. So better to say no, so that the person will be, or the party, or whatever your client or such scenario, can be addressed in a more polished way.
So that's a more of a long-term approach.
Yes.
Taking care of the goodwill, so that saying no, at least we have also saved the relation. Because if you would have said yes and something went wrong, then the relationship also gets spoiled.
Our elders used to say that don't give commitments when you are so happy, and don't say anything when you are angry. So it applies everywhere.
Right.
That he's a friend, he's a boss, he's your favorite client, you are favorite of him, that you can do anything wonder for him. Keep all this aside. Please say no, that if you are not having that 3 parameters in your hand, and if any one is missing, any one pillar is missing, better not to commit and create trouble for others.
And for yourself.
I am by default in the soup, so better not to trouble them.
Right. And what are those daily habits that you have which has helped you over the period of time gather such a relationship of such influential people? Are there any specific habits which you follow to make sure that these relationships are taken care of?
See, as I mentioned to you that I was not a child who was filled with motivation and with some great records on his mark sheet. But in these recent years, maybe post 2005 or 2006, at least one thing which I started seriously, that is reading. Reading does not mean reading a book. Reading means anything which you can actually read it. Maybe a signboard also is a reading, maybe a page is also a reading. So if there is an information available in the public domain, you should read it. It does not gives you just an information, it actually gives you a trade to examine something. So let's say if why public signages are there everywhere, we ignore, okay, this is showing right, this is showing left, but there is an intention behind this, that if an information is coming in front of you, it means somebody has prepared that to bring your life in a comfortable position.
Sort of a
Guidance. So if you read something, definitely it will help you to act on it, because you have gone through it. rather than creating a perception and giving a result in some vague way that okay, I know this because this is something very common. But if you read it, at least that message comes to you. I connect the same thing with the my thought of writing something on communication, that if the information has reached to you completely, at least now you are clear what you want to do.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And how do you deal with internal resistance? There, if I'm sure you said you have to be prepared for no, so there are a lot of rejections, which also leads to a lot of self doubt and X and Y and Z. How do you deal with those?
So saying no every time is not a solution,
No,
and
I'm talking
saying
about
yes.
listening to no. There
Yeah.
are instances where you're saying
So
no, then you don't have to face as much of a tension.
yes.
But when you have been told no by the opposite side, it could be any big leader who said no to your proposal, let's say. So how do you handle those rejections? Because I'm sure more often would be no.
Yes. So answer to your no is yes. The thing is, when a rejection comes in terms of either a proposal or a thought or something, the primary duty which I personally believes that whether I have done a right homework or not. We have people with brains, we have people with power, both. So the people who have power, sometimes they don't have brains. So vice versa. So in that scenarios, it is very much essential for me to be prepared for such no's, and also I should be capable enough to ask those questions that why it is a no.
Right, right.
So there is no proven formula for this, because you have to deal with sometime brain, sometime power. So in that case, you should be yourself, you should be mentally prepared,
Yes.
that which input you will take inside, and at least whether you can justify to them that
Right.
why it is required. Because in my business, or you can say my world, people are saying no without even thinking also, without any base behind it, without any thought behind it, because today they are not in a good mood. Tomorrow the same person will call me back, can you re-explain this
Yes.
project? It happened multiple times that 2 days back he had a fight with somebody, or maybe he is down with some of his own ideology.
He was not in a listening
He or
mode.
she listening
He or
mode.
she, of
And
course.
unfortunately that grudge came on me, that came as a fire on
Our
me.
timing was wrong.
Yeah, our timing was wrong, and it happens regularly. So now I have learned this art,
Right,
at
right.
least to listen, how to listen no, and how to at least hold my horses, that if a
Right.
no is coming, what should be my next step.
But I really like the fact that you said that you have to go prepared, and if you have gone prepared, then you go by that preparedness of yours. What the other person said may be situational or contextual. Their no is not necessary that what you have put across the table is a bad deal or whatever that would be.
So we have to understand it in a mature way, that what are those scenarios, what are those circumstances under which a no or yes is coming. It is not a question of only a no. It is a question of a response is coming under what circumstances. So I personally believe that when you understand a need and when you will act on it, then definitely one thing has to sacrifice. So the comfort, either the comfort will go off, either the growth will go off. So we as an individuals have to be very neutral while creating a need and then acting on it.
Yes. So, from managing corporate clients to now shifting to the government sector, that's quite a shift. Is there any particular instance which brought you into this particular side of the dealings?
Well, a question came in my mind couple of years back, that I have done enough transactions based work where a task has been assigned and a task is completed. Now what is actually drawing me from inside of my mind, that some project, some work, if it is bringing a change or bringing a smile on the citizen's face, I want to work in this space now, where I want to grow beyond the transactional life. I personally started working with a lot of nodal agencies, government, where they really want to bring change in the society. They want to contribute something for the country, and every time when I see a project which can actually transform a city or which can bring some change in somebody's life, that is exciting me nowadays. So now I am transforming, or you can say moving myself from a transactional to a conventional life.
And your book.
Yes, that is also one of the big contributor. That couple of my friends who have seen me in my childhood, who were sitting next to me in my schools and all, who are actually not believing nowadays that how come Praveen writing a book. I'm not taking it as a career move. I'm making it as a purpose move. Purpose move is something which is actually dragging me and creating a mission for me that if you achieve this, something will happen at somebody's place. Some lights will come, some water will come, some energy will come, some needs will be addressed.
Absolutely.
So that will give me a confidence, or that will give me the energy.
That's a really great thought, and why I would highly recommend to all the audiences watching this podcast to buy this book, not just for the for learning something, but also to paying a gratitude towards these people who are actually working day in day out, and it's a thankless job. Yes, they're getting paid, but for the kind of sacrifices that they do, it's unmeasurable and unmatched.
Yes.
Have you learned any leadership qualities from these bureaucrats whom you've respected because you deal with a lot of, maybe few you wouldn't have liked, maybe few you would have loved to work with? Without naming them, could you share some good qualities that you feel that this is a great leader, and maybe we can also learn something from that?
See, when you are into a multi-model mode, when you are dependent, when your work and result is dependent on many people's involvement, the only and only principle works here is coordination. So the only and only thing which I personally believe that bureaucrats or these leaders are doing, and what is we should learn from them, is coordination. Just imagine in a project how many clearances you need. You need land clearance, you need water clearance, you need forest clearance,
metro
like
project.
in metros or any type of corridors which you build. Just think in a way that a municipal commissioner or a maybe some authority like MMRDA, where the commissioner need how many clearances? If he is not a good coordinator, then how will he survive?
There is water, there is CNG, there are so many things under the roads that we work on, and if it needs to be dug, there's so many permissions needed.
You need electricity permissions, you need. So end of the day, nowadays the way government is aiming for a single window clearances, but for government themselves there is no single window. It's for citizens that we should not go here and there, and we should get all our solution on our app.
But within them it's going to be still the same.
It is a tough process.
Right. What kind of team you would hire? Without these traits, I would not hire them.
The first one, I feel that ownership is something which I expect, that because I don't want somebody who will wait for the instructions and then he will start a work. If you are with me, or if I have to build a dream team, I will first pick up a guy who will own the things rather than taking it as a transaction. The second most important thing is empathy, where the empathy means he should understand why these things are happening. Okay, you should ask this question to me, that why these decisions are important, why these decisions are taken. So it is very much important for a person who is executing anything or doing anything. The ownership and empathy are the two things. The last one is curiosity. If you are not curious, then your brain will not work. You will be just repeating it. So the empathy, the ownership, the empathy, and the curiosity are the three things which I believe that a dream team should be carrying this. And if you are holding these three principles with you, definitely the results will come good.
Is there any belief in typical leadership style? They say a lot of these sayings, but which you feel it's counterintuitive.
So they define it that a leader is the person who carries the loudest voice. I personally believe The real leaders, they are the most calm people. They listen more and talk less, because why they are leader? Because they have to lead a team, they have to lead a project, and in that case they have to work with multiple stakeholders, and if they have to work as a team, they have to be a good listeners, which I mentioned in this podcast in some question also. So the real leadership is always calm. They are less expressive, and in these scenario they are always calm and they listen, and this helps them to take right decisions at right time. So let me change this myth of you are the loudest so you can be a leader. No, this is not a fact.
You kind of get into connects with these bureaucrats to bring in new initiatives that can do larger good to the society. What kind of trends do you see coming up, and like how what sort of preparation the coming generation should get into, which will help them to be more employable, let's say?
The more work you will do on data, that will actually help you to predict or to plan something. That is point one. Nowadays we are equipped ourselves digitally in such a way that we can actually predict the future. We can actually see a digital twin or a technology which you can visualize a city before even it is built. So you can predict that whether the dam gates, till what time the dam can hold the water, till what time a disease is transmitted, and till what time it will be in a particular region, or how it will grow. So end of the day, when you are holding these digital solutions in your hand, you have a capability, or you have a complete technology available with you for predicting certain things. And this only can happen when you have, on one hand you have data, on the other hand you have AI. So AI is a common buzzword, so I will not get into that. Everywhere it is AI nowadays. So even if you are shopping anything, next day you will see something else. But if you have a right set of data with you, that's the best trend that you can do wonders.
So understanding data and then making use of that data is something which you recommend.
Yes.
Lovely. I had heard टोनी रॉबिन्स का एक पॉडकास्ट मैंने सुना था, where he was saying if you want to be in business, you have to be able to, or have the ability to forecast, or ability to see the future. For example, if you are running a business and you feel कि next 2-3 months में if I don't increase my sales, or if I don't increase my marketing, I will not have sales.
That's true.
So understanding or having the ability to predict what's going to happen in future has been and will remain a very, very important factor for entrepreneurs especially.
That's why another tagline that is roaming in the market is data is the new fuel.
Yes.
The most precious or most expensive part is data, because if you have a data, at least you can predict, you can plan, you can deliver.
And that is India's strength with population.
We have data.
We are the fuel for current 21st century.
Yes,
is what I understand.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So is there any myth or misconception in your industry which still exists and which you want to express that's not true?
Yes. So in public sector or a government, there is a myth that government don't work, things don't move. In public sector, I repeat it again, that things don't move, things don't push, people are lazy, people are this, people are that. But let me highlight this, that the most transformative projects that runs in the country is even faster than what private sector is even dreaming about.
Oh.
So if you have a right narrative and a proof of value available, then government works faster than private sector. When there is a need, when there is a proof, when there is a data is available, there is nobody can stop the work.
This is what you've just said, I've never heard anywhere.
That's why I'm saying that I wish to change this narrative that government don't work, government don't act. If you have a right narrative, if you have a right proof, right narrative and right proof putting together can create the work in a lightning speed also.
Lovely.
And they are answerable to a lot of people.
Yes.
So the way we work, or the government works, they are not slow, they are just cautious. They are taking precautions, that because there are certain, they are answerable to the country.
And their stakes are very high.
We have seen disasters where a small mistake or something has killed the entire career of a political person, and even troubled lot of the democratical steel frame that we have. End of the day, the myth that we were talking about is that government don't work. I personally believe that people, there is nothing such scenario. If we have a right set of data, we have a right set of proof that it can work. So then there is no challenge at all.
You've written a wonderful book. What kind of guidance would you like to give for someone who's aspiring to write a book?
See, don't, in writing any book, it's not only this book or writing any book, please don't expect any perfection. Write in the initial time, just write what is coming in your brain, and later then try to state that what happens in our movies also. So they sometimes they shoot the climax first and then they will come back with a story. I believe on this, because sometimes in search of perfection we actually lose the real topic. In search of perfection we actually lose the real sense or intent behind it. So my advice, or you can say my one guidance to people who are really interested in writing books, that whatever coming in your mind, whatever coming in your brain, some thought, something, just park it somewhere, the way I do that.
Right.
If even I have a habit that even I'm driving and I can't stop my car and write it, I just record and park it, so that later I will convert that into a text.
Lovely. And so when the government comes up with any freebies, what is the actual impact on public life? Is there any?
Yes. So the first book, which was a complete national debate when it got launched, that whether the freebies are actually impacting the life or it is just helping the political parties to gain the votes. So there is a positive and negative side both. So to uplift the poor or to address certain sections of the society, yes, freebies are making their life better. It is actually actually addressing the problems, and in the same way it is helping them to grow. But on the other side, when you will see that just to lure the voters or just to attract the people, political parties comes up with such freebie schemes or such fancy statements that we will give that, we will do this. In such scenario, disaster is by default expected, because you are using the public money, you are using the repository or the treasure which is belongs to the citizens, the money which is holded by the government for the betterment of society, but you are actually diverting that same money for some other uses. Let me quote an example that we in India, we have certain states who have actually diverted the GST funds also. People don't divert that. They have diverted the GST funds to fulfill the political promises what they have made during the election rallies, which actually created a big trouble.
Treating public money as if it's their own?
Yes, people are treating this, because the thing is, see, India, again, it is a challenge on our thought process also, that the way we see a discount sales or the way we see ourselves, even the political leaders also started understanding that we as a citizens, how we get attracted, how we get inclined. So in such scenario, what happens that ek pe ek free or एक रुपए में ये, 2 रुपए में ये, these type of concepts are getting popular. Why? Because it is creating an attraction. What I personally believe that when a scheme or a policy is designed, it is designed with an intention, it is designed with a motivation, it is designed with a target that we wish to achieve certain goals. If those goals are not realistic, if those goals are just made for fulfilling the wishes of the political party, then definitely it will backfire.
Actually, people don't understand this. कि बाबा किसी और के पॉकेट से नहीं जा रहा है, हमारे ही पॉकेट से जा रहा है.
So as everybody says, nothing comes for free. It applies here also. It is not free. It is something that is coming on a larger scale. The funds getting diverted from here and there, and it is landing up. And people believe that.
And from these schemes, the major scams which have happened till date, you must have seen that it has happened via these schemes only, whether it is Chara Gotala or whichever XYZ.
There are multiple areas where actually the needies are not
getting
the funds.
Yes.
The actual needies who are in trouble, who's who actually need help from the government to uplift their life, to solve their basic problems of water, electricity, roti kapda makan.
Yes.
The those needies are actually not getting the funds, but the people who are actually not needy, or they can survive without the support also.
Yes.
The money is coming to them.
Absolutely. What does it truly mean to serve, according to you?
See, serving is something that is not only comes from your job, or it does not comes from this stage or to reach to another stage. It is a link between pressure and purpose. So for me, serving is a link between pressure and purpose. So pressure means something which you are doing because of your job, and purpose is something which is coming because from your heart.
Within.
So serving lies in between, because you are serving because you have been given a chance to complete that process.
Right.
The purpose. So what happens sometimes that you are not empowered, you have a purpose, you don't have a pressure, but you are doing because it's your job. Sometimes you have a pressure from somebody to conclude this, and you have a purpose also in front of you. So in that scenario, this link completes that serving is something that sits in between the pressure and the purpose.
And you do it with your honesty.
Yes.
कोई सिर पे बैठा है इसलिए नहीं कर रहे.
नहीं.
We do because we believe in the purpose and to serve with passion that we have. Amazing. And can integrity and empathy coexist? This is something which a lot of people feel either you are an empathetic person or either you have integrity. Can these both coexist?
See, empathy and integrity is not actually opposites. The empathy is something when you can actually say no with respect, and the integrity comes when you can say no without respect, or you can say with being a neutral guy also. So these are not opposites, but end of the day, when these both things are coexisting in your environment, when you have somebody from political guy sitting on your head,
yes,
somebody here you are getting calls, some citizen is calling, end of the day both have to coexist in the system. Both have a certain purpose on sitting on their head, and in this scenario you have to deal with both of them. So as I said in one of the earlier question about no, here also the similar principle applies, that no will come with respect or without respect.
Right,
so it's us who will choose.
Some
that
trade-off will happen.
Yes, trade-off will definitely happen.
So what are the unseen sacrifices that sustain our democracy, and how can society acknowledge them better?
See, in case of such a large country where you have to address many communities, societies, religions, the biggest sacrifice that happens with government servants or public servants is they have to serve, they have to do a job. There is no other option available. They don't go home, they have sleepless nights. It's not because somebody is sitting on their head, because there is no other option available. These people, while addressing the challenges of the society or to serving the society, they have to go through all this sleepless nights, challenges, not meeting their family on Diwali. You and me sitting doing a podcast, having a biscuit here, maybe somewhere 400 kilometers away, some person might be waiting that he will go home back. So I call it like a meter. When the meter starts, so it brings so much stress, or you can say the tasks in front of public servants that, it never stops till. So actually it never stops. So we have festivals related to religions, then we have some national holidays or national events.
Yes.
Then we have, so being a diversified country or addressing a lot of crowd, public servants are always busy because they don't have a chance. They are also like citizens like us. They take breaks the way we take, But the problem is
But
they
they
don't have
get breaks,
alternate.
and they don't get.
They
breaks.
don't. They get breaks. They don't get breaks is again a separate question.
Let's say police people, they don't get.
So when we are enjoying, they don't take breaks.
Yes,
Simple,
yes.
and they don't have alternatives. If you have not celebrated Diwali, you have a chance to celebrate New Year or some other festival with the
Yes.
same Big Bang Theory. But for them, either it is Diwali or New Year, they have to be on duty. So for them, there is no alternative. They have to be present all the time when and where needed.
So that's the real meaning of service and serving people. So in times of crisis, be it a flood, pandemic, or social unrest, what separates ordinary administrators, right, versus from the true public leaders who be on the ground and actually help people to come out of that challenging situation?
In terms of crisis, the basic principle that differs an ordinary administrator to the true leaders is title don't matters, temperament matters. So if a person is having a nature और उनका स्वभाव है to serve, so title matter नहीं करता. I have seen IAS, IPS officers, getting into sewage tanks also. I have seen, the senior board members or the lowest level employees also doing those tasks which are actually not assigned to them. It is something that is called temperament. उनका स्वभाव ऐसा है. They wish to come out of this situation and to make citizens safe. So COVID हुआ, floods हुए, any type of situations, I have seen people coming out of their comfort zones, sitting, if you remember one of the interview recently by one of the IPS officer, that how much government spends on one IS or IPS officer per month. It is around 7 to 8 lakh rupees a month that they spend. But this is really big and they deserve this because they have gone through a tough process. They have been selected because of certain traits. But if you will see these people in field, you will not see those 7 lakhs. You will see a hardworking guy is in the mud and serving the people on the ground.
Right.
They are always in radar. They are the people who are a filter or who are a guard between you and the trouble.
Yes.
So
not just the trouble between us and the politicians as well.
That is also, you can say, sometimes we as a citizens don't see those challenges, but these people,
they have to deal with the
they
politicians.
have to deal with people. They have to face that anger.
Yes.
So
from the people side as well as from the politician side. Let's say recently I remember one of the political parties, he was actually scolding an IAS officer. He couldn't rebel, he can't say anything, he just have to accept that. And it's not like a general job that today sir ने कुछ बोल दिया मैं job छोड़ दूंगा, मैं दूसरा job देखूंगा. Those sort of things also don't work out there with them.
Again, the same way, there are people who are powerful but they don't have brains. There are people who have brains but don't have power. So it's unfortunate for our country that we have to deal with such people.
Okay. How can India build a culture that really support these public servants, build that respect for them and that sense of gratitude towards the kind of hard work that they put in for us?
I personally believe that there is a one-line answer with this, that you can't change their daily work. You can't go there and do their work.
Yes.
But you can at least stop criticism. You can actually stop the criticism that because you can't teach them, okay, these sweepers are cleaning the road, let me get 4 more sweepers and we can do a job better than that. You can do through your social work or NGOs or something. You can contribute. That's a different debate. But the thing is, at least stop criticism, give them the respect, or tell them that we are equal. They are also a common citizen like us. They are also paying their taxes. Because they are sitting on that chair. You can't or you should not make them embarrass, or you can make them fitting in such a scenario that they are your slaves or they are your workers or something. They are doing a job which is assigned by the governance of India, by a steel framework of India, which has been made in such a way that a particular people will be helping the society through the job. It's their, like government jobs. What I personally believe that we have to bring and raise the culture of respect for them. At least this tiny task will bring lot of difference in their life, and at least it will really motivate them.
Absolutely.
And that thing will actually reflect in the work also. The most important thing, if somebody is doing his work with the same passion and motivation and in a happy mood, definitely the results will be good.
Right.
You are criticizing the results, you want a good output, you are
Or
criticizing the
probably
people
a favorable output.
or a favorable output. So if you really want streets to be cleaned and every job to be done, at least don't create trouble for them.
Yes, yes.
Don't create trouble for them. At least give them the due respect. That will actually decide the India's future. I have visited a couple of countries recently where I tried to understand what different they are doing as a part of my PhD good governance research, which I have not yet taken up, but for that at least. The only thing which I have noticed that we are criticizing government too much without even giving them the due respect what they deserve.
Right. So, with respect to the book, I just want to share a quick feedback because I was there at the launch as well. Me and Amrita both, we were there. So, when we were leaving, there was this one guy who was sitting right at the back. He said that, which book is this? I said, Still They Serve This one. You buy it? Yes. I said, yes, I bought it. Very good book. There were 5 to 6 book launched that same day. He said, at least today there is someone who's writing a real book. That's what he titled it as, real book. Because he says that all the others were fiction in a way or imaginary stuff. This is something which is happening in the society or should happen in the society. That's the feedback that I want to give you personally, and we wish you all the best for your book, Still They Serve. And in future, how many ever books you want to write, we would be the first one to pick those copies. Thank you so much for being here and for making us realize or conscious that there are these people who are doing good beyond what our eyes are. There are things we don't see, and these are the peoples who bring them or make it possible.
Thanks for your feedback, Mahesh, and thanks for inviting me to the podcast. At least this platform has given me a chance to open up completely that what I actually want to pass on the message through my book. And I think that at least maybe I may not impact the entire country, but at least if I have enlightened some brains, definitely the
Right.
future generations will take this seriously.
Yes.
Thank
you
you
so much.
Thank you.
If today's episode added value to your life, made you think differently, or inspired you even in a small way, then don't forget to like this episode and subscribe to the podcast and share with someone who will benefit from it.